Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. So, today we're actually going to be doing, going over this new pack I have out. Well, it's not out quite yet, it'll be out tomorrow, but just giving you guys a heads up. Then you hear some of the wonderful tones that you can get from this pack. So all these presets you see right here are my actual presets I keep on my ToneX One. I have a ToneX One down here. Hold on, let me patch y'all in on that so you can see that. So I have my ToneX One right there, that little tiny black pedal. But that tiny black pedal contains all of these, presets here, as well as I have other preset packs here that are already available on the Patreon. Hold on, let me make sure we got the Patreon on the screen. Yes, we do. So you can go to that Patreon, well, down there, go to the Patreon and you'll be able to have access to all these preamp packs separately, right? These are what's already available on there. So like the Aguilar preamp pack, all of these are in a pack on there, as well as the Ampeg BA210 V2, Ampeg SGT. Got quite a few on there. Genzler, shuttle. You got Genzler Mellin preamp. Hary TX 600. Got the JHS Color Box models on there as well. Got a Laney pack, very extensive. That's I don't know why I spelled Laney like that. I spelled it with a T. I fixed that, but whatever. They extensive packs, right? So now even before I release all my IR packs, if you're not familiar with what an IR is. An IR is pretty much the way these cabinets sound. Let me switch to. Let me see what we're looking at here. Yep. So these cabinets over here, pretty much. Let me shift this back real quick so we're not all jittery. So bang. Sorry about that. So the way these cabinets sound in this room, mic'd up pretty much with different microphones. And the IR packs are going to be each cabinet. So each cabinet will have different microphones on it, the way it sounds in my studio setup perfectly for how I like bass to sound in the room. So what you heard on the first is actually the Aguilar preamp. So the Aguilar AG preamp with a Fender Bassman Neo 115. So, just to give you guys a little price point for things, the Fender Bassman cabinet Neo one is the one right there. I love it. It's actually one of my favorite, if not my actual favorite 115 cabinet. Very warm, can be very bright when you need it to, but it's never overly harsh. Definitely a nice warm sound to it. So, pretty much, let me see something here. Let's pull some of these layers back from this preset. Bring this down. Right, let's even turn off the preamp. So here's my bass dry, first off. And I know my strings are extremely bright. I just literally just changed these, so they're super bright right now. But um, let's add the AG preamp by itself. And mind you, I modeled all this stuff is done separately compared to some other ToneX packs you'll find on the internet, other people's stuff. Mine, I did the preamps separately, so that was done to the highest quality. Basically, that gives you the best, um, most authentic sound of the preamp, but to do it by itself. And then I did my own separate. I created all these different IRs, and I also did things like ran them through the microphones through a JHS Color Box V2, which is pretty much a 1073 style mic preamp. You know, that sounds really good. So from everything in these, from the preamp is my actual settings. So that's the actual sound of. Let me see. I might just go ahead and pull this back up real quick so you guys can see something real quick. And yeah, let's get these back up and running. Oh, whatever case. Sorry I didn't have this already, but you know, I wasn't planning on actually doing this part I'm doing right now. But so that actual AG preamp, the way it sounds, the way I use it for various things. Let me see. Take some slack off it. There we go. All right. So appreciate y'all hanging out with me. By the way, hit that like button for me real quick. I appreciate all y'all hanging out with me on the various platforms. But all right, so now we back to normal here. Sorry about that. So the way that actual preamp sounds right here, this actual pedal, that's a $300 pedal by itself. You're getting that and all this, and this is how each of the presets work, pretty much. So you're getting this preamp running through a power amp into pretty much that cabinet. This is the sound you're pretty much ultimately getting with each preset, which is a $800-900 cabinet running through a $200-300 mic running into a $400 preamp for it. So that's pretty much the whole signal chain that I've modeled there. You know, and if that's an expensive sound just for one, but you got different. The beauty of this is this pack. You know, you're paying like $5 per preset, pretty much with this pack here, but it's going to give you such a variety of preamps and stuff. This is my actual gigging presets from my ToneX One. You know, that I've taken the time to model and stuff, and I always model these to the highest quality. So you know, each of these tone models takes about an hour. Then I got to do the actual IR, got to set the room up and everything else, mic it up, you know, listen to it, EQ it with the color box, everything else. So it's a little process just to get each of these presets. It's not something I just threw together. You know, this is something I definitely took my time and put together because this is my actual gigging rig, you know what I'm saying, preset. So, all right. So then when you add the IR, and this is, again, the Fender Bassman Neo 115, mic'd up with an Audix D6, which is one of my favorite microphones, about 1 inch away from the speaker and directly in the center of the speaker. And that's run through the color box, which I've also taken the time to EQ to get a nice, you know, more rounder sound without having to be too boomy. You know, so you get. So even the regular AG, you know, setting there is going to give you nice slap sound, nice quarter sound, nice balance sound. You know, that's pretty much my finger style EQ for that amp, but using it for slap and pop as well. You know, it's not really my finger style. It's like my all around sound. If I just go one setting for Aguilar AG preamp, that would be it. But then I also, you know, I add a little things like that. You want to put it in the room, as well as I have the compressor and all this stuff set up as well. So that way it's like a one-stop shop. Got the compressor, and none of these presets come with the compressor on, just in case you're adding a ToneX to your pedal board. But I do set up the preamp. You just would need to, the compressor, you just would need to adjust your threshold on there and turn it on. But other than that, you're pretty much set up to go from there. You know, this is just so you can pretty much turn it on and it'd be like an amp in the room and sound how, you know, the amp in this room pretty much. So, all right, let's get it popping. Let's get it back going. All right, so now let's go on to the actual slap setting for the AG preamp. And this has the deep and the bright switch on. here's what that preamp sounds like by itself. And what this allows you to do as well, when you turn off the cabinet, so you can do this on the pedal where you don't have to turn off each individual cabinet. So each of these presets will come with the IR that I have for it already on, but when you go on the pedal, you can actually just turn off all the cabinets via, the active cabinet. You can just turn them all off, bypass globally all the cabinets on the pedal. And what that allows you to do is just run this straight into your amp. So now you'll have an Aguilar AG preamp for your actual amp setup as well. So say you're not you don't want to use the IRs, you want to use it as a head, like a preamp for your setup. You pretty much, if in the case of most bass amps, you're gonna have an effects loop or like a power amp in thing you can put on there. So you can run this ToneX straight into the power amp in, and you essentially have an Aguilar AG preamp head with the ToneX. Or, and then you got two different settings, like I said, just in this one pack. And like I said, that's really convenient because you get in the AG, you're going to also get the Ampeg BA210s, which I don't think you can see on the camera right at the moment, but it's right here off to the side. This is like my favorite Ampeg bass amp, so I'm running that instead of running it with the 210s it comes with. I'm running that head into one of my favorite cabinets, the Fender Bassman Neo 115, running that into a Audix D6 and then into a JHS Color Box V2, and voila. And this is what you ultimately get. Let's go. I love the sound of an Ampeg BA210. But when you take that Ampeg BA head and you put it with that Fender, you can put anything with this Fender Bassman Neo 115. That is one thing I have to say. I love, absolutely love what they did with that cabinet. It's like I said, it's that one right there. I love it. It is my favorite 115. You know what I'm saying? So definitely make sure I hit that like button while y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. And make sure you subscribe to the Patreon so you know when this stuff comes out and gets released. You know, otherwise you gotta guess. And who wants to guess when you can know? But so essentially, you're getting that cabinet. You know, because I'm pretty much I do give you one more cabinet in here. And that's a Gallien-Kruger 115. You know, technically I will be selling these the cabinets in a separate pack, but you know, for now we just, you know what I'm saying, I'm just giving you these presets, and I'm going to give you, I think it's 6 or 7 different IRs here. Most of them are going to be this Fender 115 with the Audix D6 with the color box on it. So, you know, that is pretty much my main cabinet IR I use at the moment. I love the way it sounds. It's very, very versatile sound. You know, so, you know, it definitely makes me happy. So, all right, let's continue here. So let's take the IR off, and let's hear what just the head sounds. Yeah, just the head sounds like. Well, let's do my dry signal real quick. Let's do this. Turn my bass flat. So that's just my bass flat, and here's with the actual Ampeg BA2. So take that and you add the IR to it. And mind you, that's with no dry signal mixed in there at all. That's just the way it sounds. So, you know, I tried to make sure you got plenty of clarity in the right areas that you need to cut through in the mix, as well as just, you know, try to give a nice, big, warm low end without being too overpowering, but still allowing you. I'm pretty much doing all this tone shaping from my bass, mind you, and I like this this. So I just have the whole thing set up to pretty much allow you not to have to work too hard to sound good. Even if you just kept your bass flat, say you want those people to play a passive bass, you're still gonna get a very nice tone. This is my bass, bass with the high mid switch pulled out, with the mid switch pulled out to the high mids. So you still get a very nice, you get all that Ampeg goodness in there. All right, so keeping it moving. And all this is in one pack. That's the crazy part. Mind you, I sell, you know, each individual preamps pack separately. Like, so you can get different, you know, if you wanted all the, say, for instance, all the Ampeg BA head pack, you know, I have a preamp pack with just that in it. You say you don't want the IRs and all these. You say you don't want all these other preamps. You can get each individual of these packs separately, each preamp. Or you can get something like this, which is my preset pack, my personal preset pack, which I have a variety of. Just real quickly, so hit that like button for me. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go to the Patreon and sign up. And, you know, peruse the products there, you know what I'm saying? Just flip, you know what I'm saying? You know how you go and do your investigation. But, you know, I wanted to give you guys a preview of this pack before it even came out. It'll be out tomorrow, but, you know, you're getting a preview today. So, you know, now we're going on to, oh, and real quick, like I said, all these, I'm going to have, I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to have 9 different IR packs available as well. So, you know, don't forget about that. All these IRs you're getting for free. Well, not for free. They'll be included with this preset pack, but they're not included with the preamp packs. So that's a difference. These this preset pack here is going to be just my personal settings. I literally just took what been using for the last few months off of my ToneX One and made it into a pack. So it's all my EQ settings for the preamps, is my EQ settings, and for the miking techniques, all that stuff, and color box, everything in there, all my settings for all that stuff, and bam, you got it. And you didn't have to spend, for instance, we're doing a TC Electronic BH500, which is that red head back there, the really big one that's 30 pounds. You didn't have to buy that. That was $500 just for the head. The cabinet was $800-900, so let's just call it $850. The microphone, that's like a $200 microphone, the Audix D6. And then the preamp here, that's another $400. So you add all that up, and paying $5 for this one preset ain't looking too bad. Especially if because when it comes in a pack, you're going to get all of these other ones that we going through. So we getting there. We making our way downtown. We walking fast. We getting there. Make sure y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think so far of these packs and stuff. I appreciate all y'all hanging out with me over on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. But let's get back to it. And I just love the way this thing sounds. This ToneX stuff is bananas. And mind you, I am doing literally all this tone shaping from my bass just with the, let's do this with my bass flat for the passive guys. And in case you're wondering, one of the reasons why I'm using the same cabinet, if you look right here, where it says cabinet, right under this red thing. If you look under there on this list, you'll see cabinet based under where you see name, stomp based on, and all that other stuff. Cabinet based on the Fender 115 D6. Like I said, that's just a Fender Bassman Neo 115. I can honestly say that's probably my favorite 15. That's why I use it on everything at the moment. It's not because this IR sounds particularly better than any other ones that I have. And this is I did this IR at 24-bit, 192 kilohertz, so extremely high quality IR. So definitely a monster. And mind you, the ToneX series pedals, as an audio interface, they only do 44.1, but if you're using a standalone pedal, it is using 24-bit, 192 kilohertz, so it's using the full quality and resolution of this IR, this impulse response that I created, which is just, if you're wondering what an impulse response is and you're just joining us, it's just the way this cabinet, that Fender Bassman 115 Neo, Fender Bassman Neo 115, where it sounds in this room, which I have treated to sound a particular way with bass cabinets in particular. I am a bassist, and I have the room set up for studio stuff in general, but, I had to make it sound sweet for bass for sure, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're here for. So, other than that, like I said, this is a $500 head running into a $850 cabinet, running into a $200 mic, running into a $400, well, $450 just about, preamp, and the JHS Color Box V2, and all that in that signal path is pretty much what you're getting in each of these presets. And not only that, but I do include, like I said, some other ones here, just real quick, just to take a little stroll real quick. Got the Gallien-Kruger 115, which is the what's this? Yeah, this is the Neo joint 115. This is the 3rd generation. Very famous cabinet. It sounds amazing. And I got that running through an Audix D6 on the speaker. And I took this RE320 that I'm actually talking to you through, and I put that on the tweeter. So you're actually getting like a combination of the IRs on this one in particular, this Genzler GK slap. And on some of these other ones, I have things like I used a CAD D10, which isn't an expensive mic at all, but it sounds really, it's actually a kick drum mic, but it sounds really good, especially when I EQ it a certain way. I just could get a lot out of that little, inexpensive mic, but it sounds great. We'll get to it. Also got stuff like the D10 paired with a SM57, and both of those are on the speaker, and EQ, and some of these IRs I did as far as 12 inches away from the speaker, just to get more of the room into the IR, because IRs capture the room sonics as well. So, it definitely captures the way things sound very well. So, and high quality. So let's get on with it. So with these ones of the Electronic BH500 head, put the tube drive on 6 with these ones. So the first one is just no tube drive at all, straight up solid state type sound. That's why it sounds so perfect for slap or that modern sound, perfect for that. Plenty of bottom with that as well, but with this one, it'd be great for finger style. And the great thing about ToneX stuff, it models stuff like the gain staging of things as well. So let's hear a little bit of that. And we're going to mess around with the gain as we're playing some. Oh, let's go back real quick. I'm sorry. I didn't let y'all hear this without the IR cabinet on. Let's do a little bit of that. So as you can see, you can get everything from a darker tone and still have clarity with that setting, as well as you got plenty of bottom there if you don't have like you have a passive bass, or you say you don't your bass EQ might not be everything you want it to be, or whatever the case, or say you just want a very versatile, powerful sound, you're not sure how to get it. That right there is going to cut through. And that's just with my bass flat, pretty much. Like, you know, if I actually did some tone shaping there, let's see. So you got that there, and let's go ahead and try this one without the cabinet so we can hear the difference. So you can also, like I was saying before, you can dial in this gain, just pull the master volume back if you want more, and it even adds the dirt that the amp would add to it. Mind you, you can always, you still got EQ options if you want to tailor any of these things. So you're not exactly glued to that exact EQ curve. You can, I have set up the EQs as well for good bass frequencies and, you know, good responses for different things you may need out of the rig. So you ain't really got to fool with too much. Hit that like button. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. That like button for me. Let me see, we make sure we up and running here everywhere we need to be up and running. But yeah, this is a good time to check out that Patreon. Go there, hit that like, hit that make sure you subscribe over there, and you can this pack will be out tomorrow, like I said. And the cool thing, just as a quick tip with the ToneX stuff, once you have this pack, you'll have all these different IRs available to you. And what that allow you to do is you can literally mix and match different things. So say I want this preset, I want this head from this preset. I can literally come up here and just, oh, come on, do what I'm asking you to do. Oh, I just did it. But once you have them, they'll be in your tone models. You can literally come over to your tone model, grab it, and you'll be able to put it in there. Bam. So like, say I wanted another head, I can just drag that other head in, and bam, I got a whole different head with a different IR, a speaker capture, basically. So I can mix and match those as well. See, I'm trying to hook y'all up, yo. I'm trying to hook y'all up with a good amount. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through all these. I'm going to have to move a little faster. It's 20 of these bad boys. It's 20 of them. Let's see. So, all right. Let's keep rolling. Let's go to the third TC Electronic, where I turn the tube drive up to 8. Goes to 10. But here's with it on 8. For when you need it real fuzzy. But as you can see, it can get fuzzy. Or I can dial it back. Dial the gain back, bring up the master volume. See, now I'm nowhere near as fuzzy. So like as I bring that gain up, so now you even get the rock tones out of it. And all this is out of that one, you can run this straight into your cabinet, your power amp in or your return of your amp. And that's pretty much going to allow you to have that TC Electronic, the original BH500 with the tube drive. And in my opinion, this is when TC Electronic was in their prime. That's just my opinion. Don't kill me now. But that's when I loved every single amp they were putting out. It didn't matter what TC Electronic was doing during that time. It was amazing, in my opinion. But this captures exactly that 30-pound head into that little teeny tiny pedal down there. Like, that's crazy. Little small teeny tiny pedal, and you'll have all these tones. All 20 of these tones, you can just load them up, put them in whatever order you need them for songs or whatever the case. All right, so now we're on the Benz Shuttle 9. That's that head right there. Great sounding tube preamp on there. And that's running into the Fender Bassman Neo 115. That's running into an through an Audix D6, 1 inch from the center of the cone, of the speaker cone. And that's running into the JHS Color Box V2 with my EQ settings on that as well for the. So you get that's quite a value. That's quite a value. And Benz and Genzler stuff is not cheap stuff, and it's really quality. Sounds great, and you can take it anywhere now. You don't even have to have the head, the cabinet, even though that head in that cabinet is pretty light. That's like 45 pounds on that cab. The head is about 7 pounds, 8 pounds. It's really light. And then, but you don't have to take that everywhere and take the mic, you know what I'm saying, and take a color box. That's a lot of extra when you could just grab a ToneX One and you'll have all of that stuff combined. So, as you can hear, very nice sounding tube. You get that nice warm tube sound in there from the tube preamp in there. Nice big bottom, right? But then you can run the head by itself. Turn my bass flat. just for a reference, here's my bass without it. So as you can see, the different layers have different jobs there. Of course, you can add turn the compressor on if you would like as well. So, you know, you got plenty of options there, as well as you still have use of the EQ if you want to do on the pedal as well. And the reason I set this compressor up like this is so because the only parameter you control if it's just the ToneX One by itself is the threshold of the compressor. So everything else is dialed in, so when you turn on that compressor, see, now it just gives you additional clarity and lets your sound really come forward in the mix. So, you know, even the compressor is dialed in for you. You just got to turn it on. And if you're on the pedal, you just would press, if you're in, let's see, if you're in stomp box mode or dual mode on the ToneX One, you really would just press the gain pedal, and then you would, from there, if you turn the mid knob, it'll be blinking. Turn the mid knob, that'll allow you to change the threshold. If you want to turn on the noise gate, you can do that way as well. You know, I personally only recommend using a noise gate if I've seen a few players trying to use noise gates to correct their playing. Noise gates are not to correct the lack of technique in your playing. They're so if you're using something like a drive sound, you can get clean breaks in between things. Because the more gain you add to things, the louder the noise floor is, and you gotta find a way to cut that out. That's what the noise gate is for. If it's not something like that and you're just trying to use it because you letting strings ring out and things like that, then, you know, that's kind of the wrong way to use a noise gate. That's another tip. You know, don't try to use effects to supplement for your technique. You use effects and different things to bring out different things or get different textures from your techniques. So, all right, let's keep it rolling. All right, so that was the Gens Benz. Let's see, which one was that? That's the right one. Yeah. So I'll give you quite a variety here. And, you know, this is actually the Genzler Mellin preamp with the Fender Bassman Neo 115 running through an Audix D6 into the color box. So this is that. As you can hear, it's got plenty of bottom on it while still having clarity. And here's my mids boosted. Oh, sorry. So pretty much I set these up where while I'm performing live, I don't like to touch, I'm trying not to touch settings of pedals while I'm performing live. Let me see a good way to explain it. So I don't like to have to bend down and touch things. I do a lot of things prior to performing to make sure that I can just click things and go. So for instance, on the ToneX One, I'll have all 20 of these presets, but I will have it in the mode. I forgot what mode it's called, what the mode is called, but it's pretty much if you press the gain, the alt button, and the foot switch at the same time, it allows you to have each of the EQ buttons set to different presets. And you can then press the foot switch and switch between 3 different presets. So that's typically, I would pick 3 presets that I like for a gig, roll with those. If I need to change one during the gig, that's fine. But I pretty much have things set up to where I can just play and go. Even my octave pedals, synth pedals, I typically use multi-effects around my board in different ways, as well as the ToneX is getting an update. Oh, they just killed everybody. They add in modulations and delays to this little pedal. This little ToneX One pedal that fits in the palm of your hand is now going to pretty much be a multi-effects unit. It's already got compressor, noise gate in there. It's already got reverb, amp models, IR loader. It's got a tuner. What else it got? Audio interface. Then they're going to add a modulation section where they have different types of modulation and delays and different delays. So they just really really just made me happy. Only thing they didn't add was filters. Like literally. They already have drives and everything else in there, so it's literally a one-stop shop in the palm of your hand, a little tiny pedal, which is just bananas. Don't get two of them joints, then you can run one as a delay and the other one as a amp model. So, you know, it just gives you an extreme amount of flexibility. Once they do this update in about 3 days, on the 14th, it'll be available. But, all right, it's enough of that, you know. Let's keep it moving. So let's go through this one a little bit. Let's take this eye off. Here's just the head. So, you know, add that compressor on there. So, you know, make sure y'all go to that Patreon and sign up. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging with me. You know what I'm saying? This preamp pack, preset pack is going to be available tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go and grab it. If you're on wherever you are, hit that like button for me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Appreciate all y'all hanging with me. But let's go. So that's the Aguilar Kruger one. Let's see if that was in this one. So here's the Genzler Mellin preamp with the Aguilar Kruger. Mic'd up with an Audix D6 and a EV RE320 on the tweeter. So, you know, and mind you, once you have these preamps and you have these presets, like I said, if you want to match these other heads with this Gallien-Kruger IR, the GK Neo 115, you can do that as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's not stopping you from doing that. And that brings us to the Color Box V2. And this setting here, I actually use this setting more so for when I want a more closer to my regular bass sound, but running through a cabinet or something. So I'm gonna turn my bass flat. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's turn off everything, and this is my bass with nothing on it. With the color box, with the tone model, color box tone model. So as you can hear, it just adds just a slight little boost, but it also just adds like a little bit of saturation to the sound. Nice and warm saturation versus, nothing wrong with that, but it just enhances just slightly. So this is probably the clearest preamp, and you know, but still adds like some, like this slight, this nice saturation to the sound, like that. It's like it takes the sound from here to here. You know what I'm saying? So it just adds a very nice texture. So you're essentially getting, let's just be clear what you getting. You're getting an Aguilar preamp with this. You're getting a Genzler Mellin preamp. You're getting an SGT DI. You're getting a Eden WT DI. You're getting a Markbass Little Mark III. You're getting an Ampeg BA head. A Benz Shuttle 9. They don't even make that no more. They don't make the Markbass Little Mark III no more. And you're getting a TC Electronic BH500, the original joint before everything is what it is now. You know, that's amazing. And you're getting things like a Hary TX600 in there. You're getting a color box. I mean, come on, like, and all it is, you know how much money that is for all those different tones that you can just get in this one pack of 20? You know what I'm saying? That fits in a pedal the size of your hand. For the pedal itself is only $170. You know what I'm saying? Plus the price of the pack. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to head to Patreon to find it. Patreon.com/allbasscreations. It'll be available to you guys tomorrow. Then you throw on the IR, so you get the cabinet as well. You're also getting the $850 cabinet sound, mic'd up with a $200 mic running into a $400 preamp. Come on, like all that into the pack. What? Come on. Y'all make sure y'all get this pack. So this setting in particular, it's just ridiculous. And the reason why I add a little bit of reverb on all of these is just because it makes it feel, when you're using IRs and preamps and stuff, and you're running into in-ears, sometimes it can feel like it's too close. You know, when you're listening to an amp, it's not directly in your ear. It's like, it sounds like it's in a room. So whether you know it or not, you're more than likely used to hearing your bass, with running into a preamp of some sort, like I'm doing here, into a cabinet in a room. So you're not actually hearing what your dry bass sound really sounds like. Or a lot of times we actually prefer to run it to an amp and everything else. It just feels more realistic to us, because this is what when you first heard bass, you probably heard, and I mean, I can't really think of any bass tones that are my favorite bass tones by different people that aren't running through an amp in some way, shape, or form. Or, so it's just, this gives you that in a small portable box, you know what I'm saying? And I'm doing all this tone shaping, like whether it be going from the slap and pop sound to the deeper finger style type sounds. All that's coming, being done from my bass. So, even with my bass flat, a sound engineer can do something with that. So these little things like that allow you to sound really good very easily. That's the point of you buying these preamp packs, for me at least, and how I think about things. I want you guys to buy these packs and have to do minimum to sound good, especially if you're a newer player. You don't necessarily know how to get directly to these different type of tones on different amps. It takes, even as a pro, it takes me time. It took me time to come up with all these different settings for the preamps. I had to sit there and play for hours. Some of these I've had for years and just been playing through them for years and had them dialed in, and these are my exact settings from years of playing through it. And some of these are newer preamps that I may have just got, but spent a lot of time reviewing, or I actually like this Laney preamp, Digbeth preamp a lot, Very versatile preamp, has, a solid state side and then a tube emulation. So it has also a bass tilt and bright tilt, knob, so it just had so many different features on it, and that's probably my most extensive pack. Let me see here. So all of these are what come in the Laney Digbeth pack. It's quite a few of them. There's about 9 of them in there, 9 or 10 of them. But yeah, so you get different settings with that. But with this pack, you get the Laney and you get it paired with the Fender Bassman Neo 115, mic'd up with an Audix D6, running through a Color Box V2. So, let's hear it. So as you can see, you can use it from everything from, you know, swinging, so, and to slap and pop. So, like I said, because I set up my amps and preamps to be versatile for my actual bass to do most of the tone shaping, it allows when I do presets for you guys, and these I actually didn't do for you guys. These are literally just my presets from that I've spent time making for myself personally. And another reason why I use the same cabinet IR a lot is so when I'm switching preamps during the show, the sound and the weight of the sound doesn't change as much. And so like when you change cabinets, that really changes the sound compared to at least keeping the cabinet the same allows me to have the different preamps you know, characteristics, you know, be the defining factor for me in terms of what I'm using for a song. So I know within each, with each preamp tone model, I know I could get every sound I need to get from there with the rest of it EQing from my bass. But then when I run it through the cabinet IR, I needed to have the similar, that kind of like glues the different presets together for me in a show. You know, it all sounds like I'm using the same cabinet with the same mic running through the same console, you know, a 1073 style preamp. And that at least stays the same most of the time. You know, I do have other, you know, IRs as you can see here on the screen. You know what I'm saying? You can see the D10 and, you know, a GXL 2200 mic or condenser mic on there, SM57 on the list as well. You know, but it allows to have that sound when you're switching between them. Say I'm going from this one, this Laney, from the Laney to the Markbass. See that? It doesn't change too much. Even when I go from the color box to the Laney, different sounds. But because I'm using it, it's like I'm running all these different preamps and just changing the head of the rig instead of changing the entire rig. So that's another reason why I kept a lot of these. I keep these IRs the same for a lot of these. So when I'm switching, I'm not tremendously changing the sound. Now, if I go from, here's the Genzler head with the same cabinet, right? And I'm gonna switch between this one and the Gallien-Kruger 115. So just for instance there, you know, to give you a you know, you can see the GK is much brighter, is a much brighter cabinet 115 than the Fender is. The Fender's a much more warmer, rounder sound than the GK is, even with using the same mic. So that's one of the reasons. All right, so let's move on. Let's do this Laney by itself real quick. And that's just with my bass flat there, you know. So you can hear it just adds just a, I didn't kill the EQ with it. Just slight enhancements, you know, just enough to sweeten your sound, you know. And just make it pop. And as you can hear, I love to have a good amount of clarity in my sounds. Like these are brand new strings, so they're as bright as, you know, can be. You know, they're bright and, you know, toned down. Once your strings are like towards like, you know, really broken in, and you know, even in the middle of, you know, the usage of them, you'll definitely appreciate that clarity in it. And that clarity also helps you cut through in the mix a little bit more. And you can dial it back as you need. You know, as you can see, you have a treble knob here, and that's I have the treble set to 4,000, the mid set to 2.3 kilohertz, or you know, 2,300 kilohertz, and I also have the bass set to 106 hertz. That way you can really shape your sound with, you know, proper EQ for bass and things like that. So if you want more mid range, you just would boost the mids on here, on the actual ToneX itself. If I wanted it to be less bright, if I wanted more brightness, you know, or more detail in there. If I wanted less mids, if I wanted more bottom or less bottom. So having that ability definitely is useful. So you got good EQ with the ToneX software, as well as, you know, you can still push this gain and bring this back, excuse me, master volume back. Let's push this gain. But this is just a solid state Laney, the FET side of the Laney preamp, so it's not going over distort, but it also makes it a very powerful preamp. You can push that gain and it's going to stay clean. So, you know, that's very useful. See how much body it adds. Just not too much. It just makes it sit better with the IR. So nice mic'd up sound, mic'd cabinet with a touch of reverb on there. So let's go on to the Markbass Lil Mark III. Here we go. So as you can hear, it's just a beast of a sound, just a monstrous, huge, that classic huge Markbass sound. So here's my bass without it. So that's the Markbass preset. Gotta get moving here. See, we about. Definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that like button wherever you are. I definitely appreciate all y'all support. And check out the Patreon. Make sure you hit that Patreon up if you want to support the channel more. As well as these presets will be out tomorrow. So, you know, you can look for them tomorrow and voila. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. And if you want to leave a tip, you can do that through the Cash App, Super Chat, all that good stuff. All social media at the Bass Negus, Negus. All right. Here is the SGT, SGT SVT, pretty much. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and change the name of this while I am right here. So, all right, that way. All right, let's rock and roll. Here's the SGT plus the Bassman, Fender Bassman Neo 115 running through a CAD D10 and GXL 2200. Without the IR. Well, here's my bass dry. So another nice versatile sound there. And like I said, I just pulled these straight off of my pedal here today, and decided to make you guys a nice little pack out of it because I want you guys to have the best. So let's rock and roll. But here's the SGT on the B15 side. Not super overdriven, just with the SGT circuit on with the gain all the way down. And of course you can push this gain if you would like. So if you want a more overdriven version of that, I also did one of that. So you can see how much it transforms your sound, you know, dealing with that, you know. And if you ever want to dial in some of your DI sounds, you can also do that right there. But for me, most of the time, the way I like to hear my bass is already coming through a amp. You know, I've just always played that way, so I prefer the sound of my bass coming through an amplifier versus straight from DI, you know. So, you know, I just keep mine mixed all the way there, you know. That's one of the reasons why it's like that on all of them. Say that so that doesn't change. Oh no, I didn't want that gain there. Let me do this. Yeah, and like I said, all these will be available to you guys. The SGT, the B15, the SGT SVT, which we're going to now, the regular SGT with just the preamp, with none of the SGT circuit, you know, all this is going to be, all these are in the pack. All right. Here is the SVT, SGT, Ampeg SGT preamp with the SGT circuit on SVT. I know it's a lot to, you know, remember there, but don't be shy. And, you know, after you make a few of these joints, you just kind of know where you want your sweet spots to be, you know. There's really not too much guessing to it, you know. But, you know, it takes a process, you know, to go through all this stuff. And you got to know what different things are and what they do and what the function of it is in order to even know how to tweak it. And I save you a lot of that time. So, you know, make sure y'all hit that like button for me while y'all here. You feel me? Don't leave me hanging. You know, I'm taking you through everything here. So here's the SVT. And all I literally did there was change the gain on here. Like I said, the ToneX software does a tremendous job of modeling the gain staging of things. So if when you turn this gain knob, it feels like you're turning the actual gain knob on the actual amp. Right, and I could bring that down to where it's much right on the edge of breakup, and then I can also bring it all the way down there and just get a straight up smooth sound, you know. So you got tons of different options there. Let's see, let's turn this back to there. Here's my bass by itself. So, woof, I didn't realize I like that setting so much. I'm sorry. I know that's my own setting, but damn, that thing, I like that joint a lot. All right, so here's the SGT with it overdriven. That actually was like the more normal setting. Here's with it overdriven. So as you can hear, it gets very realistic with this thing, you know. Let's see, without the cabinet. Plenty of versatility with that one setting, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes that's why I love this thing. I literally can take my entire room of amps, and if I have any distortion or overdrive pedals that I would like, or settings I would like to, you know, store, I could do that. Even off of digital pedals like the Zoom pedal, say I have an emulation on there that I got dialed in I really like, I can have that modeled on my ToneX One, you know what I'm saying, or the ToneX series software, which is also a plugin, and it comes with Amplitude 5 as well. So you get, which comes with effects, additional effects and stuff. So, and an amp model. So it's just the whole ecosystem of the IK multimedia ToneX is crazy. But yeah, moving on here, we're going to the Hary TX600, which has been a, you know, kind of like a little staple. You know, a lot of players have that pedal. Excuse me, pedal. A lot of players have that amp rather. You know, very lightweight tube amp. Sounds really good. I personally like it. All right, and let's get it popping on here. So very versatile sound. Use it for finger style, slap and pop. Very warm sound too. This is also a tube preamp in here. You hear that difference in it? That Hary joint sounds nice. There's a nice warm sound to it. And matching that with this with it off. You throw that in a cabinet. So, you know, you can choose to go with just the preamp sound or the preamp and the cabinet sound, either one. But it all, you know, all of them will sound good for you, you know, either way. Matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to change this cabinet to this one. Yeah, let's go with that. Here we go with that. I just prefer that. Yeah, that sounds better to me, and it doesn't, because the other one's giving a little too much booty. So sometimes, you know, that's another reason why I'm doing this, because I want to go through these and tweak on, make sure that they were absolutely exactly what I wanted them to be. But I needed to play through them for you guys anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, and that's why you always overlook it right before you send it out the door, even if you think you got it. But even with the Hary by itself, yeah. It's fire. It's fire. So that's the Hary, and then we got what I like to call the Ultra Cream. It's the Genzler Mellin preamp with the color box running right after it, running into the Empress compressor. And the ToneX doesn't do compressors, but I wanted the tone part of the tone. What is it called? The tone plus color, you know, section of the Empress. So that's what I have on here. All right. So nice creamy sound to it. And last but not least, yeah, we wrapping it up now, guys. Made it to the last one. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Yes, it takes a while to get through 20 of these presets, especially explaining different things and trying to, you know, show you guys the different aspects of it that are possible. But all right, so last one we have is the Eden WTDI, running into a Fender Bassman Neo 115, running into an Audix D6, into a JHS Color Box V2. So, you know, so let's go. So yeah, that's literally all of them, guys. You know, that's the 20 presets that'll be available to you guys tomorrow in the Negus ToneX pack, pretty much bass pack, I guess I'll call it, the Bass Negus preset pack. You know, for the ToneX series pedals and software. So all these same sounds you'll be able to use within as a plugin as well. So, you know, you're not just using this for live stuff. The same exact stuff that you use for live, you can use in the studio and never have to take anything but a small little pedal the size that fits right in the palm of your hand if you wanted the ToneX One. As well as, like I said, these will be, they'll be adding a modulation section to this, you know, and everything else. So that is going to be a game changer. Modulation and a delay section they're adding. So, and they're giving you more reverbs and more compressors. So I'm just amazed at the amount of stuff they can pack into this software these days. But like I said, make sure you go to the Patreon. If you want to support the channel, you can do that there. As well as if you want, any of the preamp packs, if you want any of those now, any of these preamps, all these preamps are available in different packs on the Patreon right now. If you want this assortment of preamps and things like that, you'll have to wait for this Bass Negus ToneX pack to come out. But all 11 different preamp packs that I have available are on there right now on the Patreon. If you want some of my MS-60B Plus or my Zoom B6 presets, you can find that on the find that on the patreon.com/allbasscreation as well. If you want to leave a tip, you know, I would greatly appreciate $1, $2, whatever. You can leave that in the Cash App or in the Super Chat, super thanks. And before you go, hit that like button, subscribe, like, and share. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It means the world to me. You know, find me on all social media at the Bass Negus, Negus. And if you want to check out any of my actual music, you can find that at allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. So I'll